Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero like defender of the fatherland. Off here to a 1v1 on Taranto Coastline. In the east it is Little Flower, I think, based off the translations I got here. Fighting for the German army, the 2nd Fallschirmjäger Division. In the south it is Victorique, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, here with the 1st Infantry, Armoured Division here. Taranto Raffstart here. Fallschirmjäger dropping in here on Taranto Coastline, going for the center. Aggressive choice here on Taranto. Perhaps not as aggressive, like a lot noticeable place they'll go for here, and this is obviously very cheesy, but here we are. But anyways, as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters for supporting the Propagandacast with their hard-earned contributions. Allows me to, of course, keep making all these videos on a daily basis. A big thanks to all those wonderful people. So here we are, right after a hot fix, which I had my entire replay archive, so thanks to all those who had sent in over the last several days, but alas, yeah, hot fixes mean I can't watch the old replays or use them, and I actually had a match planned, but turns out the replay got corrupt, or the match got corrupted itself. So, I got the American forwards here, with the M1 Garans and a Thompson there, sandbags up north. And we got an early MD-42 alongside the Fallschirmjäger. Very similar to what I go for when I play with the Luftwaffe. Personally, I go for like a mix of Fallschirmjäger and an MD-42. Rav squad coming out here. We got the Scouts basically up north. Steady approach here from Victorique and from a Little Flower. MD-42 they're being called forward. Scram northern pointed with the Fallschirmjäger. Should probably expect another Fallschirmjäger squad here. Yep. Heading south to the Raft squad, they're going to hit the southern fuel point there. Quiet opening, but they tend to be quiet here on this map. Well, most maps really, unless you're going hard with the Fallschirmjäger. Little Flower, though, clearly not looking to do that. Fallschirmjäger squad, Pioneer squad, the drum close to the MD-42, grabbing the southern fuel point. There we go, Pioneer's firing from the building here, which provides pretty good coverage of the entire area there. It's a pretty dominant building. So there you go, Fallschirmjäger joining him with MD-42. There's the other squad basically up north. Curious capping order here from Little Flower. Curious one there. Not what I typically expect here on Taranto Coastline. But I'm guessing they're prioritizing munitions then more than fuel, which is an interesting choice there to do on Taranto Coastline. I'm not necessarily saying it's bad, but it's quite interesting. Like, normally I'd expect that maybe they've like breakthrough, in which case that is a battle group that really eats up a lot of munitions. I mean, I guess this one does as well, like you go for stuff like strafing runs and the other things there, but even that's a bit of an odd one. I mean, they might also be there planning upgrades here. Okay, also an interesting choice here, 2nd MD-42 as well from a Little Flower and the 2nd Fallschirmjäger Division. North here, Fallschirmjäger for northern field point there. Also, fun fact about Fallschirmjäger and Fallschirmjägers and the German army early on, they actually dropped without the weapons, so dropped in separate large canisters, which, well, turns out Crete really showed how bad of an idea that was, as a lot of the Fallschirmjägers were caught with just a pistol against either British Defence Forces or very ticked-off locals. Up north here, we've got the Rail Squad chatting the Fallschirmjäger here. Little Flower, they're definitely a bit extended at the moment. In the south here, the MD-42 on the Victorique's Rail Squad there. Evil Company. We got the 2nd MD-42 being called Norfolk to assist there. Definitely a bit extended here. Mr. Little Flower there versus Victorique Rail Squad charging in and the Fallschirmjäger. Fallschirmjäger in a bit of trouble up close versus the GIs there. Quickly dropping those Fallschirmjäger like they're bags of sand. Up north, they continue to push up, catching the machine in a bad spot here. Could perhaps set up a time to stop the Rail Squad or make into the nearby building. We'll have to see. But the Germans have pushed off the northern fuel point here. Pioneers popping in. Probably to avoid Victorique jumping in and claiming the building for themselves. Oh, what just... Ah? Okay, that's a new one. Man, compared to companies' bugs, these are quite benign. No gravitation anomalies or red snow. Smoke deployed here, though. Nice shot there by the scouts. Pioneers be right with the Rav squad. Heading for that southern victory point, fuel point there. So far, the German player is definitely off to a rough start here. We got medical supplies here. Will they pushing for fast Fallschirmjägers? They could be away here for Little Flower to turn the tide against Victorique. Up north, the Rav squad pushing forwards there.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Heading southwards there with the Fallschirmjäger. Victorique, they're pulling ahead into a weapon support center. Interesting choice there. Perhaps snipers, machine guns, half-tracks. And we got a third Falchion Pioneer squad here, meanwhile, for Little Flower. We also got the reconnaissance run, so they're clearly looking to just go for fast Falchion Makers here. And this time we got the third Falchion Pioneer squad dropping in a bit more aggressively this time around. But there's still a lot of munitions. MG-15s, or is it the grenade launchers? Personally, I would recommend the MG-15, but that's just me. I'm very much a machine and gewehr kind of guy here. In the south, the Ralph squad pushing forward, going for the Falchion Pioneer by the southern field point. Yeah, 2 machine guns does provide Little Flower with a good base of fire if they can set it up. But for now, Victorique, they're heading hard on the fuel pumps there, messing with German fuel income quite spectacular. Setting up machine gun here, so making a strong point and an end point there, going for the center as well here. Looks like Little Flower's move is just to try and avoid fighting Victorique around the urban areas here and just, well, try and draw them into like, fighting positions. Interesting choices there by Little Flower. North here with the Ralph squad moving forwards here. Definitely expecting there's some Falchion Makers in the near future. As for Victorique, we do get a sniper. And we got grenades here. Obviously good for the grenades, but also the breach here could prove to be handy here versus Little Flower if they start to occupy the buildings with a Falchion Pioneer. Getting some grenades to help flush them out would be a very strong tactical move there by Victorique. Ralph squad in here, machine still pulling out here. Ooh, but the arc of fire there. Victorique spotted there with the scouts. The arc was shallow and actually could get bypassed there. Highlights the dangers there being machine guns unsupported here in Companies 3. More so than in Companies 2 or Companies 1, I find. Of course, at the same time, I also find it actually more easy to maneuver. But there it goes. Sniper on top. He gets a kill there on one of the Falchion Pioneer here. And a wipe on the Pioneers, of course. He got Falchion Pioneers. So the Pioneers are, well, less of a loss there. Since the Falchion Pioneer obviously just better Pioneers in pretty much every respect. Falchion Pioneers need to retreat now. Up north here, we got the Falchion Maker drop to assist the Falchion Pioneer here. Victorique's Ralph squad there in some pretty deep trouble here as the Falchion Maker drop in with their FG-42s. Sniper there, getting good shot on the MG-42 here. Some pretty harsh fighting here. We're not seeing much else, by the way, here from Little Flower part there as it goes. Just good fuel control here from Victorique, which really has prevented Little Flower from like pushing for anything, really. Again, odd focus on the eliminations, but in theory might be a plan with it. But for now, it does mean that Victorique really is pushing out on fuel control push for fast Germans here at this rate. Little Flower's going to have to do some pretty heavy lifting soon here. Pull off some really good attacks here to have a chance. Back at base here, we got not much else here for Victorique. Do some healing center there. Yeah, quite chaotic fighting here between the two sides. Quite chaotic. It's only a bit unpredictable. So we got the MG-42 then and the Falchion Pioneer forwards. Heading northwards there. Got the sniper rowing forwards there pretty aggressively. They're backing up a Ralph squad, ensuring they don't get, well, spotted by the Germans when they're running murdered. Here we got Ralph squad that's MG outside the base. Grenade off here. Nice throw there.
Victory point lost.
So what is going to be the game plan here, though, from a Little Flower to try and turn this mess around against the Americans as Victorique just keeps bearing down upon Little Flower like a ton of bricks accidentally dumped into a flower shop. Some of them moving forwards. Veterans who won there. We got the Luftwaffe company. Might see some Jaegers with Panzerschrecks here. As opposed to Penge Marders. I do believe Victorique is taking up. Yes, indeed it is. To the surprise of very few people, a fast tank depot in the south here. Falchion squad ambushing the Ralph squad here, landing into good hits with their T-42s. Falchion Pioneer tank from north here. Ralph squad, they're caught in a pretty bad crossfire. Worth noting, despite this munitions focused start, there's not really anything being done with it. I mean, we're not seeing mines, we're not seeing upgrades for the Falchion Pioneer, so I do wonder what the logic behind that was. Quick steady move forward here. But yeah, some mines right now could be an excellent move here for Victorique. For Victorique, yeah. I mean for Victorique as well. They don't have any gears, but for in particular, I think Little Flower right now. Then again, just, you know, upgrading the Falchion Pioneer with MG-15s or Granadenbüchse there could also go a long way to help Chelsea close the gap infantry-wise right now, and maybe get an edge over Victorique. But I imagine we'll be pushing for some very fast Shermans, so it will be interesting to see how exactly they tend to get around. This is just like lots of Jaegers with Panzerschrecks. Again, they do have the munitions for it. Or is there some other plan here? We got a second Fallschirmjäger squad. Crikey. Second Fallschirmjäger to be shown there. Really letting in with the third Fallschirmjäger company here. And up there with the FT-42s. Of which there were quite a few variations as they, of course, work to improve it. But also just make them easy and cheaper to produce. As a fun fact there.
We have Fallschirmjäger ready for orders.
Scouts here just running around making a mess of things. So we got a great victory point leader Victorique over Little Flower.
The enemy holds all victory points.
Falchion Pioneer there versus Scouts using the smoke there to contest the point. Falchion is hanging out behind a lemon tree. Alright, Otto, remember, just throw lemons, you'll think it's a grenade, then you toss the grenade.
We have 300 points remaining.
It's a bit of a skirmish here. Falchion Pioneers, 2 route squads. Could do with some support here from North. Again, some upgrades on these Falchion Pioneer. I feel like really will go a long way. And there you go. 11-minute Sherman out here. And yeah, no anti-tank weapons at all. This is definitely going to be a rough ride here for Little Flower. As Victorique there just comes charging in there for freedom and democracy here. Sherman there blasting through the lines. Machine them in combat spots. Sniper scores a kill here. You got the Jaegers, that of course does mean Panzerschrecks here. Sherman just keeps hammering away there at Little Flower's very unfortunate machine gun crew there. But there we go. Fallschirmjägers catch the sniper and due to what happened to most snipers if they're caught by the enemy, they were executed on the spot because as it turns out, snipers were very unpopular. Like, if someone suspected you of being a sniper, they would typically just shoot you because people really hated them. Those and flamethrower operators typically kind of like, you know, did not get treated particularly well. And now case of Americans just straight up shooting people they suspected of being snipers, for example in Normandy, without really having any proof of it. So yeah. Fun fact there. Jaeger squad out there, Panzerschreck on the way there, no big surprise on that one. But yeah, we can see now Little Flower there, of course, with the addition of more Fallschirmjägers, but also the Jaegers here, still getting more map control here. The slightly messy opening there has been, shall we say, somewhat recovered from. I may want to deal with that rifle properly there. Ooh, good grenade there from Victorique. Bunched up German force here, mix of Fallschirmjägers, Jaegers, and of course Falchion Pioneer. North here got the Sherman there, upgraded already to some 6-minute Sherman upgrade here. Got some extra firepower there for freedom and democracy.
Enemy forces have captured the victory point.
There we go, Ralph's now caught in a hell of a crossfire there. Sherman there moving to the Jaegers there with their Rakete and Panzerbüchse. Sherman shoots misses. Ralph's caught there close to being hosed out, but does manage to avoid total annihilation at the hands of German infantry. So the question is, what next? More Jaegers, support elements into Marder, construct Panzer Company there. We also do get here the infantry reserves up, very powerful passive ability, and I think all those versions of this probably need to be toned down a bit. But that's another story. Sherman, they're rolling through in here to deal with the Falchion Pioneer by the northern victory point here. A steady comeback here though from Little Flower here versus Victorique. Steady comeback. Falchion pushing forward, Ralph being caught out in the open with the MD-42. Closing in rapidly, grabbing the munitions point back here. No tech yet. Sherman, they're rolling forwards. Yeah, I'm surprised at the lack of like upgrades for the Falchion Pioneer. I mean, it's also not impossible that they're just planning on relying heavily on Stuka Loiters, and that's just like the plan all along, which does kind of make sense, but you know, but also just makes sense just murdering the infantry fairly efficiently early on. But I'll wait. More Jaegers being brought in to act as anti-tank teams. Victorique's infantry then northwards. No additional Shermans yet. Any sign of BARs. Certainly, I think with increasing number of like Fallschirmjägers, BARs could be a very good investment here for Victorique. Fallschirmjägers Ralph squad there. South here, we got Ralph going to the Fallschirmjägers here. Forces heading up here. North, we got the Falchion as well squad here. South here, charging right ahead for freedom and democracy. A good grenade here could definitely make things awkward there for Victorique. In the center, they got Fallschirmjäger here versus the Sherman. Panzerfaust down to the engine. Jaegers, they're moving up with their Panzerschreck. Great. Oh, the shot missed. Through there. Bit relieved, I imagine. Less relieved of that penetrating hit. Scouts trying to flank around here. Maybe a smoke screen off here. Otherwise, they probably should vacate the premises before they get buried on them. Sherman quickly repaired up as a few engineers. Rouse Court, they're caught in a really bad spot here, but all of Little Flower's very heavily equipped infantry there. Quick route there, and looks like Victorique avoids a wipe. Yeah, there's definitely more stabilization going on now here. Could still consider taking up here soon. Some direction. Sherman falling back here as the Jaegers are quick in pursuit here, backed up by Fallschirmpionier and Fallschirmjägers. First Armored Division starting to run some issues, but there goes second Sherman arriving. Also worth noting, no upgrades there. Like no 50 cals, which is a bit interesting. Fallschirmpionier caught by the 7.6mm Sherman. But generally, I would always recommend getting those pin-mounted machine guns. They typically tend to have a good amount of anti-infantry firepower on the tanks. Back here, we do get the Panzer Company up here for Little Flower. Up north, we got the Fallschirmpionier as well squad here, moving about here. Southwest, Fallschirmpionier there, grabbing that victory point here. Jaegers on a 5 from the Sherman. North here, Rouse got put back by the Fallschirmpionier. But they managed to hit there. Little Flower's fuel point in the north here, denying them fuel there at least for a bit. Sherman up in bombarding the Fallschirmpionier there quite aggressively. On the Sherman, they could definitely do some repairs. Also worth noting, we have armored here from Victorique. You can see that due to the just immediate veterans who won there, so who knows what we'll see. Could see recovery tanks, could see seek and destroy. There's also the EC-8 here that could happen. You know, machine creators that push back here as Victorique, and the first Armored Division strikes forward more for freedom and democracy. Straight into the MD42 team here. Fallschirmjägers advancing. Genshin push for a Panther 4 here. Could theoretically go for some Starstorm, but I think right now they got enough infantry. They got enough.
The enemy has cut us off. We have territory out of supply.
Oh, we're getting grenade launchers. No, MD-15s, but the grenade launchers are good too. I personally do prefer the MD-15. Mortality of Victorique. That's a nice addition. Nice bit of telesport that could go a long way at the right places. Shermans are being fixed up. Nice center position here. Still, we can see here Little Flower in some fairly good positions by now. Closing on that Panzerkampfwagen 4. Go, Panther on the way. So what will be next here? We got smoke being deployed here to push for the victory point here. Shermans on the move. Infantry supporting them. Machining give out Fallschirmpionier sending out up north. We got the scouts here as the Fallschirmpionier. Got a Fallschirmpionier squad occupying a nearby house. Routes going to the MD-34 or 42 and the Fallschirmjägers. Not a pleasant experience for the Victorie's infantry up north here. Sherman's being forwards here. Panzerschreck's up in the Sherman there. Victorique will need to haul her Sherman out of there before it gets lit up like a candle in a storm. Scouts, they're routed. Jaegers, they're pursuing through here. The gaps kindly made by the Shermans. But now out in the open, the easy explode to the Shermans. And we are, in fact, getting 50 cals there. Thumbs up. Jaegers are just getting pulverized here by the Shermans. Now a nice safe distance. Panther 4, though, has arrived here to support the 2nd Fallschirmjäger Division. Typically, Fallschirmjägers did not directly have Panzers organically as part of the divisions, but they did actually have Stugs as the sort of transition just into being more elite infantry divisions that, you know, didn't actually do any airdrops. Fun fact. Jumps the blast at the Panther 4 here, though. Vecchi 2 down. I do believe that is Seek and Destroy. Very good ability. It's basically the American, you know, Blitzkrieg. Mortar crew caught here by Little Flower's Fallschirmpionier and MD-42 here. Far up north here, we got the Shermans of the Fallschirmpionier. Nasty hits on the Falchion Pioneer, almost wiping out the squad there. And of course, we got a third Sherman out here. We'll definitely need some more armoured firepower here to help deal with the Victorique's armoured fist here. Falchion his body out in the open, they quick route here, so Sherman's push forwards, and another 5th cal there. Thumbs up. Sherman rolling here, pursuing the Falchion Pioneer there, ruthlessly. Good shot there. Panther forming up to block this American advance. Bounces. Bravo Squad Scouts coming up here. And we got the MG there flanked by another Sherman push back. One option, because there would actually be a flak 36 in the right position, could help slow down Victorique. Of course, it's not unlike they are planning Stuka Loiters. Even though they are nerfed, they are still of use. Just not quite as tank meltingly good. Second Falchion Mega Division there pushes forwards here. Across the southern fields. Past the broken bodies of Americans. And Carl. North here, Raft Squad standing on watch here. MD-42 Falchion Pioneer sitting out here, multi reinforcing healing. Panzer IV setting out here. Supported judiciously by infantry. Very solid there. Sham's watching over here as well. Good position to watch over from. Meeting their Falchion Pioneer pushed down to half health. There you go. The Panzer Strike's definitely not to be taken lightly. Of course, one thing for Victorique to consider, if they haven't already, would be to research improvised armor from the Mechanized Support Center, because it actually decreases the damage taken from the Panzer Strikes. Also increases the overall armor of the Sherman, so the Panther Force will struggle a bit more with the frontal armor as well. So, I think with that many Jaegers about there, Victorique, with a Mechanized Support Center here, she would benefit a great bit, I think, from improvised armor to minimize the impact of all these Jaegers. There you go. One Sherman down here. Great kill there for the Germans. Does buy here. Little flower bit of respite there. And helps, shall we say, equalize the numbers in tanks just a bit. Morts there still at work there. Very good. Sherman's being pulled back there for some needed repairs. Center being occupied with the Germans. Still not a lot of mines, if any, at all. Flares up there. Likely from the scouts. Far up north here, Falchion Pioneers by the Raft Squad and are quickly dispatching them. Got the launcher there unlocked. And got the munitions to unleash it. Raft Squad here spotted by the Panther Fort, the Falchion Pioneer and the MD-42 there. Decent shots. Second Panther Force to assist the second Falchion Mega Division. Shunning northwards. And what is this? We actually got a recovery vehicle out here for Victorique. Watch repairs and of course recovery. So they could actually recover that Sherman there. Oh dear. Are we actually going to see that happen? We are actually going to recover it. Very nice. North here, Panther Force moving about. A variety of vehicles would be used throughout the war as recovery vehicles. The Germans, for example, used the Panther III, the Panther IV, they even like baggy Panthers, amongst other things. They even baggy Hetzers, now I think about it. So a little fun fact there. South here, Raft Squad spot here with the MD-42 and the Falchion Megas. Rapidly routed. Could soon go for another Panther IV. Could also consider something like the officer quarters or the side skirts. Absolute closing off bit here. Bit more equal now between the two sides. Got bazooka teams out for Victorique for some added anti-tank firepower here. Tank setting out here northwards. Actually got some mines down there from Little Flower Fight. Jaegers moving forward in a steady formation. Looks like planning an assault here on the western orchard. This could get pretty big and explosive here. Sherman almost done there, recovering. Or being recovered. There you go. Good as new. The engine's on fire. Wow! What engines aren't on fire? The other ones. Ah. So there you go, setting about repairing it. South side Raft Squad moving forwards. Steady moving forward to the Falchion Megas and the Jaegers. Up north here, the assault is on ways. And Victorique the repairs, hoping to get it done before. There we go. The Jaegers just get absolutely obliterated. Could have considered deploying some smoke with the Jaegers, like maybe getting into better positions here, or actually just flanking around north since there's no cover for the Jaegers. So they just target practice for the Shermans, quite frankly.
Is down to 250 points now.
Which is not what you want your infantry to be.
Setting an anti-personnel minefield. You have orders? What are your orders?
More mines here, clearly expecting Victorique there to come in swinging there. South German fortified being suppressed here. Falchi Mega being barred here by the Sherman.
Let the pioneers mark them later.
The advantage is ours.
Sherman sending out there. Looks like we're about to see a large armoured assault here from Victorique. Mines are spotted there, and the computers still stood over them. Piece of advice is, like, once you're done laying down a mine, you know, shift click and orders afterwards, they'll just move away from it. Machine in the means being spotted by the Sherman. See a mortar fire raining down the south here. The Sherman is surrounding the German forces there as well here. And Little Flower definitely caught off guard. He was not ready for such an American assault here. Victorique quickly pulling back the northern platoon here, leaving the southern Sherman to base provide light support here in the south. Victory point east of the Falchian Pioneer. Sherman's firing away here up north. Their point being seized. Panther 4 setting out. Sherman's holding back here in reserve for now. Panther 4 setting out. Guessing another Panther 4 here soon enough. Oh, they can't. They got too many units. They're suffering from success. Suppose they could still go for a Flak 36, though. There you go. On the offensive with the Jaegers, the Panther Force here. Shermans need to be careful here. There's still the potential of Stuka-Loiters. Bravo Squad, they're close being hosed out. Sherman here remaining inside, just bombarding away casually. But also pop high explosive shells, or the white phosphor shells abilities on the Shermans. Quite a few choices here for to explore versus Little Flower. There go the Shermans keep up the attack here. Little Flower definitely struck them with just that many Shermans. There we go. Ditz have enough loss to call in a third Panther 4. Got the recovery vehicle there still hanging back. Basically was based off the M3 Lee.
Bastards have secured our territory from us.
Got 229 versus 222. Mortar firing down there, shattering a small stack of hay. Panther Force holding back, could do with some repairs. Of course, having plenty of Falchian Pioneer does assist with that. And the cover vehicle forwards. North MD4 to catching the scouts, quickly routing them. Ooh, right into mine.
We must stop them.
South here, point east, got the Sherman Panther Force moving up here. Ooh, even riding along there on the Panther 4. Nice.
Under enemy control.
Very nice. Good to see some mechanized Falchi Mega tactics here. There you go. Under fire from the Sherman. They're quickly forced to abandon their ride. And we got the Lloyd here. Things are heating up now. Round squad corner back spot. We actually got bars up now as well there for Victorique. We got the Luftwaffe striking down there on the Shermans. Mortar crew, white engineers pinned down. Panther Force pushing forwards here. Need to be careful though. Sherman from North could strike them. Panther 4 heavily damaged. Do we have any focus fire here? We do not. Another Panther 4 ready here. And there you go. Something exploded. I think that was just a car though. Nothing significantly tanky. Others withdrawing here. Massive column of retreating Sherman tanks and recovery vehicles here. Jaegers still being pummeled. We got Vecchi 2 and 2 of the Shermans there. Panther 4 moving in. They're pretty risky there by Little Flower. Sending in a lone Panther 4 versus 3 veteran Shermans. That very much feels like the Little Flower. There's tempting fate versus Victorique. We also got the Bazooka team there. Kind of forgot about that one. Jaegers narrowly survived. They're being wiped out. Little health left. Luftwaffe moves in. Misses. Panther 4 in flames. See, there's 2 Panther 4 still to go. Aircraft shot out of the skies. Anti-tank charges there on the Panther 4. This is turning into a real disaster here for Little Flower now. And the second Falchi to be sure. Multiple tanks on fire and without really destroying a single Sherman. That is quite painful here. I feel like there could have been some focus fire here and there. Another Panther 4 on the way here. Will this be enough to really stop this increasing armoured snowball here from Victorique, heading the northern victory point here? But there you go. Sherman and now an ace recovery vehicle they're rushing in. Like, that thing is greased lightning, isn't it? White. And something about repairing here as well. Honestly, at this point, I feel like the smart move would be actually go for the support elements to bring in some Martyrs to back up these Panther 4 against all these Shermans. Go, fixing up that Sherman pretty rapidly here. Very good repair speed on that thing. And another Sherman as well there. Another Panther 4 ready here, full little flower. But yeah, I think some early officer quarters could also been helpful in keeping the Panther 4s a bit up to veterans, the high levels of veterancy faster. Of course, you know, get that focused fire going up north here. Victorique lining in with an armoured assault here, perhaps looking to swing in from the north and get little flower here from an angle where they're clearly not ready for it. Though at this point, the question is, where are they ready for it? If one was to be a bit sardonic. Germans and South here being fixed up. Got that recovery vehicle just rushing southwards.
Victory point lost.
Apparently, I guess the crew managed to recover an aircraft engine or something. Got the infantry running coming from northern victory point, keeping the Americans off it. Jägersman against the Sherman. Seeing Sherman up here, blasting away there. Oh, looks like, yeah. Actually has researched improvised armor here, as you can see now. Taking notably less damage, but also some of the shots actually seeming they're struggling to penetrate. So yeah, improvised armor, it's good if you're up against Panzerschrecks in general. Bad pathing on the Sherman. Great here for it. Oh, I think it's firing high explosives, which is less than ideal against Panther 4s. Great versus infantry, but not so good against tanks. Unless, like, very lightly armoured, I suppose. 206 versus 89. Little flower here in the German army are very much in the lead here up north. We've got the Panther 4s backing out of that one. Fallschirmjägers versus the Shermans. Definitely not a great gauge here for these Fallschirmjägers. They are absolutely outgunned. They carry most Panzerfaust. Still no flak guns, or even like the LG-40 here could have been an idea to consider for Little Flower. Certainly imagine no Martyrs. South we've got the scouts moving up here. But the armoured fist of freedom here just stands very strong there for Victorique. Has proven to be an very impressive investment.
Down to 75 points. Do not let up.
Panzer 4 is ready for action.
Panther 4 sending out. Looks like we're seeing another push here. Might be seeing some more support. We got the Shermans moving up here. They're going to flank here the force here. There we go. Shots being fired all across here. Lead Sherman backing out of that one before it gets turned into target practice. Air support called in here. Sherman's backing out of that one as they have no intention of being practiced for the Luftwaffe. That's it. They're all usually bunched up here. Shots going down there. Troops being suppressed. Sherman striking off most of the damage. That was a complete whiff there. We got the Panther 4s pushing forwards here. Run to the Shermans. Jägers absolutely annihilated out in the open here. No mercy. Engineers drawing the fire there of the Luftwaffe. Allowing the Shermans to push forwards. Jägers there, taking the brunt of it. Got one A Sherman here, a real Brad Pitt. Being forced off the field here. Then there it goes, second one. Did that get shot at the sky? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Panther 4 down. Second Panther 4 got knocked out. And that's the second Panther 4 down. And I think with that, it might just be GG. Like, Little Flower now has just basically a pair of Panzerschrecks trying to stop all of these Ace Shermans. Which, again, I'd like to stress with improvised armor are notably harder for the Panzerschrecks to knock out. And the infantry and the support weapons just being hammered as well there by the tide of Shermans. And if they were to, like, say, pop high explosives now, that would, I think, be very much the end of the Jägers. Even if they even need the high explosives, to be honest. There you go. That's one Jäger squad down. Another one's about to go off there into the great blue yonder. There you go. GG. Game over. There you go, an intense fight here on Taranto Coastline with some significantly large armor negation there. Bit of an odd opening there from Little Flower. I do think they managed to recover somewhat nicely, but I feel like some MG-15s and some mines early game would have been a very nice upgrade here for Little Flower. I think that helped them maintain more control of the fuel point in the early game, which I think was judicial and crucial in allowing, Victorique to pull it into the fast jumps. So again, Little Flower did bounce fairly well back from that. But I feel like, again, some upgrades like, Pans officer quarters, maybe the side skirts would help, a bit there. And also, maybe bring in some martyrs there would also been quite helpful in helping contain the otherwise great lead that Victorique had managed to build up in Sherman's there. So that was something to consider. But overall, Victorique, I think, played well nicely. Made good, judicious use of the advantages that they had. Made good use of the upgrades. Really well played there. So I hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Links in the description. And if you're otherwise in the market for buying companies free, haven't done so already, of course, you can do so in the comments using the CoH3. So thank you all for joining in, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.